today's shave. Declaration B5 in this kind of AliExpress handle. Pretty cool. It's a big handle. I like it. I'm gonna, as usual, soak the brush for just a minute. It's just my preference. The razor we're going to use today is the 40s style Gillette Superspeed. It's vintage. 1947, I think, approximately 48 is about when this one came about. Let's see if I can see if it has. I believe this is a no date code, yeah, which is why I believe you can make that assumption about the dates. In case you don't know, Gillettes, the vintage Gillettes, have a date code on the bottom of them. Usually it's like on one side there's a D, on the other side there's a 4, or something like that, or sometimes it's here and here. And the D will tell you the year. You can look it up online. The number part is going to tell you the quarter of that year, 1 through 4, obviously. So this is the 40s style. It's a twist to open. Just a great little piece. Shaves with me very smoothly, and the reason I'm using him today with my Gillette Silver Blue is because I wanted to compare him with the Superspeed I used yesterday, the flare tip. It was the TV special, but it felt like it was just a little bit more aggressive than how I remember this guy being. I remember him being pretty smooth. Now, when I was shaving with these guys last, I wasn't as knowledgeable about how the razors feel as I am now. And so I'm just curious if I remember correctly. So that's why I chose this one today. Now, that's an old razor. We're going for an old soap. This one's been around for a while. Tabac. It's a very polarizing soap. It has kind of a powdery scent to it, but also there's this funky, sharp scent, almost like a latex in a rubber tire, something like that. Not latex, but, you know, rubber. Fresh industrial rubber. Or maybe it's kind of burnt wood, maybe tobacco, or a little bit of floral, tiny bit in there, almost like birch tar or something like that. And so it's very polarizing. People just kind of love it or hate it. And but everybody agrees that the performance is excellent. And so I'm probably not going to like it based on the description, which is why it took me a while to get it. However, I ran across this puck at a fabulous deal, and I wanted to try it anyway. It's ubiquitous. Everybody just knows about it, even if they don't like it. So I'm going to try it. I'm just going to put some cold water on top of the puck here. It is an actual hard soap. It's triple milled. That's why it lasts forever. Lasts a very long time. And it's one of the few soaps that is okay to bloom or to soak, because it's actually a hard soap. You don't want to soak those croaks we have now. If you can press your thumb into it and make an indentation, not your nail, but your thumb pad or your finger pad, then it's not a hard soap. Okay, don't bloom those, don't soak those. It's a waste. It's unnecessary. All right, blades in the razor. I have my lather bowl ready. And this, I believe, is the this will be the 8th use of the Gillette Silver Blue. It's a great blade. Just does really well for me in just about all my razors. So I also have my syringe here to add water to the lather. With the hard soaps, there's a couple ways you can go. If you want to lather them, if you want to load them for a long time, then you don't need to soak them. Maybe 60 seconds, something like that. But if you do soak them, then you can load for maybe 20 seconds or even 15 or 10, depending. Hot water could also help as well, speed things up. So it's just a matter of time on the front end or time on the back end, which way you want to do it. So I'm going to pause for a little bit just to let the soap kind of get a little bit of that moisture soaked into it. All right, so I'm going to take the puck here, kind of fullish, pour out the excess water. Take out my brush here, leave a little bit of water in it. And then we will load for, let's just try 30 seconds. And 40 is going to come across in just a few here. 40. Okay, so we'll load until we get to the 10 mark. Just see what happens. Maybe 5 minutes is how long I allow the soap to soak for. It's going to overflow, obviously. That's just the way a lot of soaps are. 10 more seconds. Maybe just plenty of lather. And there we go. That's 10. Look at all that excess. All right. I'm just going to rinse all that down the drain. All right. Put that off to the side. Now, I made a remark about how it smelled when it was dry. Now let's just see what happens when it gets wet. Most people say it's pretty easy to lather, so I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. And we'll go ahead and start adding a little bit of water because we know it's going to need it. Teaspoon at a time is probably going to be fine. Start slow at first so water doesn't jostle out. I don't know, the scent's not too strong. Big question that comes to my mind is there's so many guys online, I was reading about it, that use it, that they leave the puck open so that the smell will dissipate, or they get used to it, or they just don't mind the scent. It's like they've learned to ignore it, and they just love the performance. Sure enough, we got a great, slick looking, sheeny lather coming on here. But here's the thing, there's so many good soaps out there right now. I could see maybe 10, 15 years ago, this being such a good performer that you'd put up with a scent that you might not like, but there's even excellent hard soaps out there. Haslinger has 60-gram pucks for not very much money, and they all smell, at least a couple that I've tried have been kind of mild, but at least it's a nice scent. You can pick out something that you enjoy, and the performance is excellent. Fine accoutrements makes hard pucks that are amazing scents. Really good. Prix de Provence has an original that I don't quite go for, but the number 63 is a warm, spicy, type scent. It performs really well. Wow, I should have lathered this for less time because this is still a fairly dry lather. Look how structurally sound it is. It's getting up there, and I've already put 2 teaspoons of water in it. So those are just a few of the hard soap options. So it is funny how guys will stick with something even when there are a lot of good options out there. almost 4 teaspoons of water in there. I'm going to do a finger test next. Yeah, probably still needs a little bit more water, but just to be on the safe side. It sure looks great. Feels good as the brush moves through it. Pretty big. Pretty good cushion. Oh, I can just barely feel my fingerprint ridges. So that part that I just added in there, I think that might be the last. I can always add a little bit of water later, but let's just shave with that. Fingers. So far, that test I just did is just one of the best ways to gauge the slickness. Now, a benefit of lathering on your face and not in a bowl is that when you finally got enough water added to your soap and your lather, you feel it on your face and you know when to stop, because your face can tell you. But I hate adding water to my brush like you have to when you face lather over and over. I'd rather just add a bunch to a bowl. All right. Pull it all down and look at the peaks and the elasticity here. Look at that. Mix it up just a little bit more. And let's use it. Let's see what happens. Get my face wet one more time. Let's do a little scent check now that it's in the bowl. It's much weaker in the bowl than it is on the puck. It's not offensive at all because it's just so weak. How about that? Does feel like it might be a little too dry, so we'll just see. Yeah, if you look at the furrows, there's a few clumps going on here in the neck zone. So let's, this is clearly, I did not need to load for this long. You know, better safe than sorry. Yeah, still a little bit clumpy. I'm going to rake some of the lather off the side of the brush there into the bowl so I don't quite have so much on my brush here. As usual, 1 day shave. 1 day's beard growth is what we're dealing with here. See, this is the part of face lathering I don't like. Adding water to the brush, trying to get it not to leak out of the brush. So I'll have to make a note not to, next time, to let the, mix it a little thinner. That's looking better. Man, there's tons of lather. See, and that's just kind of what happens when you face lather. End up with all this excess on your face, knocking it around. Much better lather now. Really thick in some places, but turns out I've got tons of lather available here. So, I guess if you pre-soak it, and that was a pre-soak with cold water, shoot, maybe 15 seconds is what I might try next time. All right, so there was a little bit of chatter with the Superspeed TV special I used yesterday. I don't remember that happening with this guy a long time ago. So let's shave with him and see if he feels different and performs differently than the other one. Oh yeah, see, there's barely any blade chatter at all. He must hold the blade a little closer to the edge and therefore prevent that vibration. Or I'll say as much of that vibration. This guy's doing great. I don't mind this scent. There is the description says there's a little spiciness to it, and that part I'm cool with. But to be honest, it's just so faint. It's not offending me. It's protecting well. This razor, boy. So I like this guy. Clearly above the flare tip Superspeeds. Just so quiet, smooth. Just excellent. All right, I'm gonna pause you. All right, I've added a little bit of water to the bowl because that was concentrated as well. And look at that. It's just a great lather. Slick and feels great. The rinse, even on the first pass, which is a little strange, a little atypical, the rinse was very creamy and luxurious. And there is enough of some masculine elements in there to where I don't feel like it's very feminine. Yeah. I can't describe it. It's in a zone of scents that I don't know the words for. It's like a high, the tar kind of scent, but it's not. Almost a combination between that and cologne, a pungent high scent that is really the only thing that's coming across right now. Floral and that kind of thing is faded. Very smooth. This little razor treated me so well one time that I actually shaved against the grain on my neck. I did get a little bit of razor burn, but it just felt so good. I guess the gap and the geometry must just be a little bit different between this and the Super Speeds. I think we're ready to rinse again. All right, feeling good. Ready for the third pass. Tons and tons of lather here. Brush, very, very soft. Quickly switch to the painting strokes and just spread out the lather nice and even. Yep, very nice. Excellent grip here because of the checking on the handle. So no worries if it's a soapy grip or anything like that. Very nice. Pause. Very comfortable, very nice cut. This little razor is tremendous. Now we're just going to do the neck pass here. You know, a lot of the modern razors want to try to give you thick handles, robust handles, and I don't have a problem with that. I like those too. But then sometimes it's fun to get one of these little guys and feel how nimble it is and how easy it is to swivel around and switch from one side to the other. Now this is the trouble area. Pull my neck over a little bit and watch my pressure very carefully. And that'll probably do it. All right, rinse time. Excellent. Comfortable shave. Lather was excellent. Slick, cushiony, protected me really well. The results are just a few tips that have some length on them. Everything else has been cut nicely. The Wolfman razor that I used maybe 3 days ago it did give me a more secure cut where it just felt more rigid. However, the comfort was almost identical. And so this little $20 razor, $25 razor, something about that, the 40 style. You know, Wolfman cost a lot more than that. And this little guy gave me 95% of the shave as the Wolfman did. So you can pay more for gear, and that's cool if you've got the budget for it and stuff. But also, there is gear out there, such as this little guy, that I didn't get very much chatter. Nice firm grip it has on the blade. I think geometry is excellent, and I got a great shave for a fraction of the price. So sometimes you can pay more and get better stuff. And this is brass. It's plated brass, and so it's a lifetime razor as well. I can pass this down. I mean, this thing's 70 years old or so already, and it's still going strong. So just a testament to where you don't have to spend a lot of money to get good gear and to get a good, slick, comfortable shave. And soaps like this Tabac here, the harder soaps, you may pay a little bit. I think they're a great bargain because you may pay a little bit up front, and if you get the jar here and stuff, but it's hard, and so it's going to last you a very long time. And Tabac is actually kind of cheap if you buy the refill puck only, put it in your own container, and just use that. It's, boy, I think it was like $11 or something. I found it somewhere. At least, at the very most, 14 or something like that, and it still lasts you a long time. So I think it's a great buy. I may not recommend it as heartily if somebody asks me, you know, what are the best budget soaps out there, just because the scent is very polarizing. But to tell you the truth, once I got it lathered up, the scent was minimal, really was. I mean, there was something present, but I found it enjoyable enough. I'll probably keep this around. I mean, the performance was excellent. And look, I've got tons of lather still ready to go. And it's excellent. Look how good that is. That's perfect. Right there. That is a perfect consistency lather. At least the way I like it. Just tremendous. That's the way it ought to be. And most people, as I was looking online to try to gauge whether I should soak it or how long I should load it, the big response was that it's just real easy to load, really easy to whip up a lather with. And sure enough, I found that to be the case. So as for me, I can keep this guy around. I mean, it's so funny. I mean, the scent was so polarizing for people, but to me, it's really quite weak. When it's on your face and you're using it, I'd say maybe a 3 out of 10, maybe a 4 sometimes, but usually not. And that's just kind of below my threshold. It's pleasant. It's not dull. It's kind of classic. So I really like that about it. So thumbs up from me. Now, maybe if it was stronger, and I mixed it kind of rich. So even if I dialed it down and got it to something better, it'd be a little bit diminished in terms of strength because it'd be more diluted. So it's funny that such a stigma, such a controversy goes on about this soap. And then I try it, and it's just barely there. It's pretty funny. Well, I'm going to pack up stuff, look down and see. Face feels great, at least for me. The post-shave, I have oily skin, so it's kind of like cheating, but there's no tightness. It actually feels nice and soft. It's got to have some ingredients in there that do some helpful things to your skin. Then, and one thing I heard was that the Fine Accoutrements soap has the same soap ingredients list as Tabac. And so what some people are saying is that maybe Tabac's been around longer, the folks from Fine kind of copied the soap recipe to make their soap, but then they're adding better fragrances to it. And so one thing that you can do if you like the performance of Tabac, but you may not like the scent very much, explore the scents. Look over on the Fine Accoutrements website. They got a terrific sandalwood, in my opinion. They got 2 vetiver scents, a green and a fresh. The fresh is very light and easygoing. I think it's kind of based on Tom Ford vetiver, his vetiver scent. The platinum is based on Creed Aventus, I believe, and just excellent scents that they have over there. And the prices are excellent. Prices are very budget friendly. $12 a puck, something like that, a refill puck. If you want to buy the ceramic jar, you can do that. You can also pay $16 and get the plastic case that goes around their puck, and then the puck inside of it. So that'd be good for travel, or just keep it around on the shelf, that sort of thing. I kind of think the ceramic soap bowls are cool. I might get one of those someday. But anyway, I don't get any kickbacks from Fine or anything like that. They just happen to be a line that I enjoy. All right, I'm going to clean up. So this guy right here, this little 40s, it's called the 40s style. When Gillette put it out, they didn't call it that. That's just what we have started to call it after the fact, to delineate all the different super speeds that came out. But this little guy has given me a good shave, and he did it with more comfort than the super speed flare tip, and so that's pretty cool. And he also did it giving me the same results. The cut I got was just as good, but he did it a little quieter, felt a little more predictable, and a little more in control, that sort of thing. Because he holds the blade more securely, which and I'm guessing he's a little more mild if you look at the geometry. However, because he's I don't know, the geometry is just special, because even though he felt more mild, he gave me the same result, same number of passes, same technique, everything. And so to me, he's just a better. The geometry of him works better for my face than the super speeds do, the flare tips. So this was an old shave, old razor, old soap. So let's go with an old brand of aftershave. Not too much in here to help your skin other than alcohol and fragrance. Seems like this might be right along the lines of Tabac. I did feel just a little stinging over here, but now it's gone. Looks like my technique was pretty good. That's a nice scent. I don't like the normal Clubman, but Special Reserve, I do like that one. I forgot how green and grassy this Special Reserve is. I don't think it's really that much of a compliment to the Tabac. I do have a Prix de Provence 63 balm down there, and it's also a warm, spicy scent. I think that would be a much better match with the Tabac. However, that's a balm, and I really wanted to put some alcohol on my face just to kind of test the shave and get a feel for it. So, no big deal. Not quite a match, but still enjoyable. So of all the American vintage Gillettes, Aristocrat, all those super speeds, the flare tips, the news, this might be my favorite. It's just, I don't know, his geometry is just right. He's smooth yet cuts really well. Really happy with that. Tabac proved to be a good soap, It was a great performer, as we kind of knew it would be, with so many votes on it from that regard. Blade's still going really well. Looking about the 8th use is what we have there. And happy all the way around. So I hope there was something here that helped you out. I don't know if you're a Tabac newbie or whatever, but how about that? I'm very surprised that it was so lightly scented when it finally became a lather. It's kind of laughable why people are arguing about it. But anyway, this is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Take care and good night.